Welcome to Testing Advices. In the last video tutorial, we learned about automating date picker. Now in this video, we will learn about automating drag and drop functionality. So what we will do, we will visit this jQuery website. We are going to click on this droppable link. We are going to pick this object and drop it inside this target block. So this is what we are going to do. So let's start by creating a feature file. So name it as drag drop dot feature. Now start writing the feature. So feature is nothing but drag and drop functionality. Okay. Scenario is performing drag and drop functionality on jQuery UI website. Okay, so we'll start writing scenario by given user navigates to jQuery website. After that, what we have done, we have clicked on the drop. So we have clicked on this droppable link. Okay. And user clicks on droppable link. Okay, and user selects the block and drops in the target area. Okay, so let's quickly perform the settings. So what settings we will do? First we will visit the login steps file. Okay, we'll comment out this browser launch code. Then we will visit the date picker steps and we will comment out the code. After that, what we will do, we will quickly run this feature file. So run as, go to run configuration. Now change the path from date picker to drag and drop and run. Okay. So you will see the code structure is been provided to implementation. So quickly copy that and now go to step definition package and create the class name drag drop steps. Okay, click on finish. So we have created a class, paste the code inside that, then quickly remove this pending exceptions, import this, implement try catch. So guys, the basic implementation will remain the same for each and every step definition file. Now quickly copy the code for the browser launch. So let's copy this code and paste inside the block. So I will keep this code in the after hook as it is, as we want to see the execution. Okay, now import these hooks. Done. Okay, now let's start implementing the code. So first is user navigates to jQuery website. So we'll write webdriver.get. Okay, inside that we'll copy this URL. Okay, after that we simply verify the page title. Okay, so page title is now the second scenario is we are going to click on the droppable link. Okay, so inspect, and it is a anchor tag, okay, with a name droppable. So we can use link text or partial link text. So webdriver.get. Okay, so webdriver.find element by dot link text is the link dot we are going to click. So we'll use the function click. Now simply put the sys out. That user has clicked on the droppable link. Okay, now the third is we need to select the block. Okay, so it has a source and then it has a destination where we need to put. So in order to perform this activity, so all these mouse interactions we will be performing using a action class. So action is equal to new actions. Okay, so what we have done, we have used the class call action. We have created this object, and this object is created for the new time. So we have used the keyword new, and then this is the parameterized constructor. So we have passed a object WebDriver. So whenever this code will be executed, first it will perform using the actions of this object WebDriver. Okay, so now we'll define a web element. So for what purpose? So this is our source and this is our target. So there are two different objects. So we will store this object in a element. So in order to do that, what we will do, we'll create a web element. Okay, web element, called it as source. Okay, let's inspect this. So as you can see, this ID is draggable, so we can use the ID. So by dot ID draggable. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is the same. So let me copy this. So instead of source, this will be our target. Okay, and let's inspect this. So that is nothing but droppable. So ID is droppable. Okay, Now we need to perform the action. So action, we will call the object action dot. So see what are the methods available. So we can click and hold that. So the things which we use, okay, with the help of mouse, the same things, the same functions are available here. So you can either click and hold that element, or you can hold the context. So you can see there are a lot of actions, even double click is available. So here what we are interested in, nothing but this drag and drop. Okay, so simply copy this. So you can see the first element is the source from where it should drag that, and the next is the target where it should drop that. Okay, now is our work finished? No. After that, as we are using this action class, so in order to perform any action, we need to write the function build, okay, and we need to write perform. So until and unless we specify these two functions, Selenium will not perform the things. Okay, and let's capture if there is any exception. Okay, so quickly sys out, and I'll print v.to string. Okay, let's save this. So we have written the code. Now let's make changes in feature file. So we need to assign an ID for it. So let's assign at jQuery UI drag and drop. Okay, let's copy this, go and put this tag inside main runner. Let's save, and now run this main runner. So the script has started the execution. Browser is launched. Okay, so it has performed, it has clicked on the droppable link, but the mouse actions are not performed. So let's see where. Okay, so it says no such element exception. Okay, so it is not able to locate the element. So now let's see why this is the case. Okay, so let's inspect. Okay, so guys, if you see, this element is within an iframe. Okay, so what happens whenever there are elements which are inside iframe? So see, the elements which are above the code of this iframe, okay, that is a separate entity, and the code which is inside iframe is again a separate entity. So there are certain specific commands, with the help of that we need to enter our control into this iframe. We need to perform the action, and then again we need to get back if we want to automate elements outside iframe. Okay, so there is a small change we need to do. Okay, so let's do that. So it has clicked till droppable link, so it must be outside the iframe. So after that we need to first identify the number of frames. Okay, so what I will do, I will define an integer, okay, and I'll name it as number of iframes. Okay, and within that we'll write webdriver.find. Now there can be multiple iframes as well, so we are not sure at the moment, so that's why we will be using find elements technique. So by dot, now simple technique to identify the number of iframes is we'll use a tag name. Okay, as we know, all the iframes will be defined by the tag name iframe. Okay, so iframe dot, we need to collect the size. Okay, so we'll simply return out that total iFrame are number of frames. Okay, so this will return out the number of frames. After that we will switch to that frame. So, okay, so driver dot pch switch. Okay, sorry, so the object is WebDriver dot switch to dot, we need to switch to frame. Okay, so here it is asking us the index, but at the moment we are not sure about it. So what we are going to do, we are going to keep this as it is. Okay, let's keep this as it is and comment out. First we will verify if there are multiple frames are available. Okay, so let's run this again. Okay, so now let's see. So total iframes are 1. Okay, so now in this case it's fairly easy for us, because if there is only one frame we can simply go and enter 0. Okay, that is the only frame available. So now let's close all this instance and run this thing. We have performed the action till clicking on this droppable, then drag and drop the element from source to its target position. But now again I want to identify this element. Why? Because let's check if this is outside iframe. So as you can see, this element, this entity is outside the iframe. So now there is a tricky part here, guys. So let's perform that. So what I'll do, in the feature file I will add one more scenario, that is nothing but and user verifies the heading. Okay, so obviously its code is not implemented, so let's cancel out this and we'll run this. So we will be provided with the unimplemented method. Done. So now this is the unimplemented method. So let's copy and paste. Now within this try block, what we will do, first there is a tricky part. So what is that? Now we are inside the iframe, so our control is within this iframe. Okay, so now our control is within the iframe and we are trying to automate element which is outside iframe. So first we need to pass on the control back to the default entity. Okay, So how to do that? We'll write a command calling WebDriver dot switch. So in order to switch to iFrame, we have used the function switch to. The same we need to use when we switch to default content. So this is the command. Okay. Now after that, what we will do? As we need to verify the heading. Okay. So I'll define a web element called heading. By dot tag name. So its tag name is what? Its tag name is h1. Okay, so we'll use h1. Okay, then I'll define a string that is nothing but actual heading, where we will retrieve the text from the element stored inside this web element. So heading dot get text. Okay, so this will store the result of that element. So the element is stored inside the heading, and now from this heading we are retrieving the text and we are storing it as a string. Now we'll define one more string where we need to compare that. So I'll name it as expected heading. Okay, and expected heading is what? So it is nothing but droppable. This is the name. So again it is a string. We are trying to compare to string. So I'll put in double quotes. Now we'll use if this expected heading dot. So as it is a string, we'll use the function equal ignore case with actual heading. So we need to compare this expected heading with the actual heading. Then we'll print that expected heading matches with actual heading. Okay. So guys, if you observe, when if statement only contains single line of code execution, then opening and closing curly braces are no longer required. So ideally we write in this way. So we do use this open and curly braces, but now this if statement only contains a single line of code, so that is why we are not using it. Okay, so now let's run this. Go to main runner, run as JUnit test. Okay, so let's check the output. So see, it has performed the action of drag and drop, and after that it has also said a droppable matches with droppable. That means our expected heading and actual heading text is matched. There are a lot of functionalities available that you can play with. So you have draggable. So for these are nothing but all the mouse interactions you have. Okay, then you have buttons, accordions, okay, menu to play with, tooltips. Okay, so today we got a little glimpse about iFrame and use of action class for drag and drop. In the next video we will learn about hidden objects. Thanks for watching the video.